True wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. He is richest who is content with the least, for content is the wealth of nature. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings, so that you shall gain easily what others have labored hard for. No evil can happen to a good man either in life or after death. He and his are not neglected by the gods. Where there is reverence, there is fear, but there is not reverence everywhere that there is fear, because fear presumably has a wider extension than reverence. A system of morality which is based on relative emotional values is a mere illusion, a thoroughly vulgar conception which has nothing sound in it and nothing true. The children now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They show disrespect for elders and love chatter in place of exercise. Children are now tyrants, not the servants of their households. They no longer rise when elders enter the room. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, gobble up dainties at the table, cross their legs, and tyrannize their teachers. The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. If you don't get what you want, you suffer. If you get what you don't want, you suffer. Even when you get exactly what you want, you still suffer because you can't hold on to it forever. Your mind is your predicament. It wants to be free of change, free of pain, free of the obligations of life and death. But change is law, and no amount of pretending will alter that reality. No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. Death may be the greatest of all human blessings. Strong minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Weak minds discuss people. By all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. Most people, including ourselves, live in a world of relative ignorance. We are even comfortable with that ignorance because it is all we know. When we first start facing truth, the process may be frightening, and many people run back to their old lives. But if you continue to seek truth, you will eventually be able to handle it better. In fact, you want more. It's true that many people around you now may think you are weird or even a danger to society, but you don't care. Once you've tasted the truth, you won't ever want to go back to being ignorant. Regard your good name as the richest jewel you can possibly be possessed of, for credit is like fire. When once you have kindled it, you may easily preserve it. But if you once extinguish it, you will find it an arduous task to rekindle it again. The way to gain a good reputation is to endeavor to be what you desire to appear. For this fear of death is indeed the pretense of wisdom, and not real wisdom, being the appearance of knowing the unknown. Since no one knows whether death, which they in their fear apprehend to be the greatest evil, may not be the greatest good. Let us reflect in this way too, that there is good hope that death is a blessing, for it is one of two things. Either the dead are nothing and have no perception of anything, or it is, as we are told, a change and a relocation for the soul from here to another place. The real artist, who knew what he was imitating, would be interested in realities and not in imitations, and would desire to leave as memorials of himself works many and fair, and instead of being the author of encomiums, he would prefer to be the theme of them. The reason why we have to acquire wealth is the body, because we are slaves in its service. The hardest task needs the lightest hand, or else its completion will not lead to freedom, but to a tyranny much worse than the one it replaces. Trust not a woman when she weeps, for it is her nature to weep when she wants her will. It is possible that a man could live twice as long if he didn't spend the first half of his life acquiring habits that shortens the other half. A free soul ought not to pursue any study slavishly, for nothing that is learned under compulsion stays with the mind. The young people of today think of nothing but themselves. They have no reverence for parents or old age. They are impatient of all restraint. They talk as if they alone knew everything, and what passes for wisdom with us is foolishness with them. As for girls, they are forward, immodest, and unwomanly in speech, behavior, and dress. Understanding a question is half an answer. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. There is only one good knowledge and one evil ignorance. No man undertakes a trade he has not learned, even the meanest. Yet everyone thinks himself sufficiently qualified for the hardest of all trades, that of government. It is not difficult to avoid death. It is much more difficult to avoid wickedness, for it runs faster than death. The understanding of mathematics is necessary for a sound grasp of ethics. Wealth does not bring goodness, but goodness brings wealth and every other blessing, both to the individual and to the state.